What's up, guys? Welcome to today's episode of the Bell Zone, where I talk about all things real estate, investing, money, marketing, business. Man, I love this stuff, and I want to help you by sharing with you my experiences and what I went through to get to where I am today with a $50 million real estate fund, a team looking at deals that are anywhere from $30 to $120 million, multifamily properties here in San Diego County. That's been a huge journey. I've been on this path for about 20 plus years, actually since about 97, 98. I went through market cycles. Man, I didn't even know there were market cycles. I just thought they were just happening to me, like I was getting spanked. So I like to share with you guys what I did. One, because I want you guys to invest with me. Totally transparent. My goal is to share information with you. So you either can, one, go do this yourself, or two, invest money with me, because at least you understand where I come from. You either like me or you don't. And naturally, if you make money with some information that I gave you, hopefully you're investing or something, you feel confident enough to say, look, I made money with that guy. I'll invest with that guy. That's really transparent. I want you guys to become Bell Capital investors. But for today's video, I want to share with you guys my mistakes that I made that, man, I wish somebody had this conversation with me when I was young Victor, right? When I was in my 20s, trying to figure it out. But be honest with you, there wasn't as much information out there as there is today about real estate investing, how to do stuff, and to be able to do it the right way. And be honest with you, the giants weren't that big then. They weren't. But here's what I learned. These are the things, that the mistakes that I made. And like I said, if somebody tells you where not to go, you get to where you want to go faster. And all of us need that. So again, I just share mistakes because I wish somebody had said, hey, Vic, here's what I wish I knew. Here's the mistakes I made so you can avoid them. Now, some of you guys are like, well, it's one thing to avoid a mistake, but what if you're just getting started? Or what if I don't have what it's like listening to Jay-Z telling you that he wished he would have done something different. Well, if you're not Jay-Z yet, you're just getting started. You go, well, I mean, but you have this. I can't start like that. That's not true. He's actually sharing with you what you can do to cut down the learning curve he didn't have to. Those are mistakes made that you can avoid. So that's what today is. Mistakes I want to help you avoid. So my number one mistake that I made, you heard me say this before, is that I was thinking way too small. When I got in, now let me change that. I thought big, but I started small. Like I bought into that concept because I had a business coach that was like, think big, start small. That's stupid. Think big, and the bigger you can think and the more you can do, the more you can get done. So I was like, look, I know I want to get to a billionaire. I want to become a billionaire. I want to have $1 billion worth of real estate. This was way back, like in the early 2000s. I knew that number was realistic because there was real estate billionaires at the time, big firms, right? But I didn't really understand what that meant. But so that was my number one mistake. I was thinking too small for too long, or I was thinking big, but I started small, and that was a mistake that I made. I should have just thought big and went as big as I could at the moment and have that conversation more often. That was number one. The next mistake I made, I didn't treat real estate like a business. I kept treating real estate like an ATM machine. And you guys, if you watch any of my old videos, if you're flipping houses or you're buying subject to deals like I do, or you're picking up some small deal, that's an ATM machine. You're going to buy that, you're going to turn around and sell it short term, and you're going to make that money. And if you're just starting off, you need money to live off of, or you have a job and you're trying to quit your job, become financially free, and you're going to dabble in real estate as a side project, as a side gig. Look, yeah, you can do that. But for me, I didn't treat it like a business. This was my full-time thing. It's what I've always done. But even still, it was just the Victor Bell Show. I had like an assistant. I had a couple people who helped me. I had a couple of different partners. But in the end, it was always just me. I should have been treating it like a business. That was a huge failure. I could have already had $1 billion worth of real estate had I just treated what I was doing like an actual business instead of just treating it like a project or a side thing or a hustle. All right. So the next thing, I was focusing on deals. I should have been focusing on lower cap rate deals. So I was looking for deals that had a 8 cap, a 9 cap, a 10 cap, an 11 cap, properties that had problems when I was looking at multifamily deals. I shouldn't have been doing that. I should have been looking at lower cap rate deals. The lower the cap rate, the better my exit. The problem was when I was looking at these high cap rate deals, yes, I made better cash flow on those deals, but when it came time to get out, I was barely making any money on the way out. I would just have to sell it on the fact that, hey, there's cash flow here, right? That was the big mistake I made. I should have been focusing on lower cap rates, less cash flow, but big exits, which is when I really made my deals work, man. Trust me, my big exits was like, oh, 3 times. It was like 700,000, 900,000 on the exit. These are big deals. You can't do that if you're looking for these high cap rate deals. So that was another mistake that I made. I should have been focusing on lower cap rate stuff, less cash flow, bigger deal, properties that had a bigger exit, bigger bang on my out, right? Next thing was similar to that. I should have been focusing on deals that had a little less cash flow. Less cash flow, yes, but you can't do a deal multifamily wise or apartment building wise and not make cash flow. It still has to cash flow. But what some people ain't going to tell you, lean in on this one. This is a big secret. The real game here is not the cash flow. That's the drip. That's the drip that pays the bills and pays you as an investor every month while we wait on the main course. Seed cash flow is almost like the appetizer to the meal, right? When you go to like somebody's house for Thanksgiving or you have your own Thanksgiving dinner, all those little side, hey, this is out and this is done and this is this thing. Because really, what do people show up for Thanksgiving? They come in there for the turkey. They're not really coming there for side dishes. But cash flow is like the side dish, that big appreciation bump, the double or triple on the out, that's the turkey. And that's what I should have been focused on a lot more, less on that cash flow. But next thing, what I used to do as a mistake was I started chasing cheaper markets. That's a problem because if you're thinking small and you're listening to all, some of the other people out there, then rather than look in your own backyard and go, oh, because I did that for years. It was like, oh, I was in Hawaii and it was too expensive. How are people making it work? Because I kept listening to these small-minded people who really didn't have my goals. They were just trying to survive. I was already out of the survival thing and I was trying to grow, right? So I knew what I was doing. So, but what I should have been doing was instead of chasing cheaper markets, like I was in Hawaii looking at Vegas and Nevada, Florida, Texas, Tennessee, what was the other market? Ohio, Michigan, North Carolina. I was leaving my market and going to these other markets while they had growth because I was chasing growth and I'll talk about that later. But I really should have been looking at my own backyard. These were the properties that had, yes, lower cap rates, less cash flow on the deals. But when I finally looked at my own backyard instead of chasing other markets because I thought they were easier, I actually made more money in my own backyard than I did in all the other markets combined. 100%. Next, I wasn't always raising money. That's my number one thing right now. It's kind of like being in business. Your number one target, your number one stat you need to track is you need to be making sales. Revenue, number one. But in real estate as a business, like we have a Bell Capital, our goal is to always raise money, being connecting with our investors. We need to be raising money from investors. So that was a mistake that I made. I had 1, 2, maybe 5 or 6 investors, my go-to people, my buddies that had businesses. But really what I should have had was thousands of investors. Right now, I would have thousands of investors, man. That's one of my biggest, that's my biggest pain point in my life right now is I underestimated the amount of money that I was going to need to continue to push this business forward and to be able to continue to invest based on what I did. Was not consistently going out, finding more investors, making more connections, and raising more money. So the next mistake I made was chasing new fads. You guys all know, oh, there's a new Airbnb thing. Let's get into that. Let's start looking for those properties. And then now there's like the ADU, which is additional dwelling units. Let's go find a property where we can build additional dwelling units, or we can turn something off in the back, whether it's a house, we can put up 5 units, 10 units, 20 units on this one property. And let's do that. That was a fad. In the past, it was like student housing. Let's go find things where we can, which was the BRRRR method, which is now the BRRRR. Before it was like rent a room to students or whatever it was. Like all of these different ways, these different fad strategies that came out that used real estate to grow. I did it too. I started chasing stuff. And let me tell you, there was times when I was already making headway, buying real estate, and then a new fad would come out. I would go to some seminar, hear about, oh, these people are making money in this. And then I would take my foot off the gas, slam on the brakes, and then move this next strategy thinking, well, it's all real estate. I could just now offer this to the seller. Man, that was terrible. That was a huge mistake. I kept making that mistake. I don't make that mistake anymore at all. I keep my blinders on, and instead of focusing on fads, I focus on my goals. I'm trying to create wealth. I'm trying to build a real business, a billion-dollar portfolio in multifamily, great assets, institutional quality, and bring on my investors and make us all money. That's the fad. That's the thing. I don't make that mistake anymore. Next, I should have had, just like investors, I should have more partners. I should have been out making more partnerships with people who either didn't have what I had and we can collaborate and put things together, or I can go off and, hey, look, if you want to partner on some stuff, here's what we're doing. I should have had more partners, not 1, 2, 3, and 5. That was a huge mistake. Next, I had no network. little to no network. And then the network that I did have, no offense to any of the people out there that were a part of my network in my real estate stuff, I needed a different network. I needed more people. I needed big brokers who controlled billions of dollars worth of real estate, not just millions of dollars worth of real estate. I needed a network of other investors that were like me, that were so much further along, not just the seminar connections that I made, which were other people trying to do what I was also trying to do with the same information. I had no real network. That was something I needed to do, and I failed there. It was a mistake that I made. I don't have that problem now. I'm building a network of billionaires and people who control billions of dollars worth of real estate or billions of dollars worth of capital. That is the new target for me, right? So those are the things that I've changed, and I want you to consider that as well. I was going to, this is another mistake that I made. I went to seminars to learn, not to collaborate. I spent hundreds of thousands, even though I probably spent over $1 million in my lifetime from the time I've started, a little over that in my own personal education, just real estate, right? Real estate, business, marketing, sales, all that stuff. And I can tell you, most of the seminars I went to, I would leave there with a big plan to go do business on my own without actually leaving there with the names and numbers and connection pieces of other people who actually wanted to collaborate, who I can help or they can help me, and we can actually grow together. I failed there so much because I will only go in there to learn. I was like, oh, dude, that was a selfish thing that I had. I didn't know that it was selfish. I just felt like, hey, I'm going here. I got to learn this because I got to take care of my family. I was only focusing on my skills, my own talents, rather than actually build up something for myself that said, hey, you know what? I'm looking to actually collaborate with other people. That was my challenge. So the next problem that I had, or the next mistakes that I made, was I didn't have enough partners, similar to not having a network and all that other stuff. I didn't have enough partners. Instead of having 1 or 2 partners and investors, or 5 or 10, I should have had thousands and thousands and thousands of investors. That's not going to be a mistake I continue to make. My goal is to have over 4,000 to 5,000 investors in Bell Capital, probably more than that. If I can get to 10,000 investors, that would be awesome. I'm not there yet. Like I said, my brain is trying to get that, but that's a goal that I had. Like I said earlier, I think big and then I start small. Now I'm trying to think big and do big things at the same time. So that was enough. Not having enough partners and enough investors. I have a saying that I say, and you guys can adapt it if you like. It only matters because I only had one. If I had more than one, I wouldn't even care. Like if you have 1 employee and they quit, you care. But if you had 20, 30, 50 employees, 100 employees, you wouldn't even notice. So not enough is a problem. It's not having them is not the problem. Is not having enough is a problem. I should have more. That was the problem I had. And next, in my real estate business, I should have never sold any of my multifamily properties. I should have refinanced, cashed out my partners if they wanted out, and I should have kept those deals. I should have still had them. I should have still had a baseline portfolio that I built upon. So that's been huge for me. Huge mistake. So for you out there that have a bunch of multifamily properties that's cash flowing, now, unless you're flushing the toilet, and when I say flush the toilet, I mean look at your portfolio as a whole, flush the toilet and go, look, we're going to get rid of these properties because it no longer fits where we're going and who we are as a portfolio, right? You got to have some asset management, and you also need to have your portfolio director or the person that's over your portfolio manager to take a look at your portfolio and assets that you have that no longer serve, that are pulling the portfolio down, get rid of them, and then recycle that capital into better properties that are similar to what you're doing. Next, I had no finance education whatsoever. I didn't understand business. I was doing business as real estate as a product, but I didn't understand real estate. I didn't understand financial planning, income planning. I didn't understand the cash flow pieces, the metrics that needed to be hit. I didn't understand all of the pieces of finance. I'm not talking about financing a deal. I'm talking about financing exactly how the money works, the capital side of the world works. I didn't understand that. No education in it whatsoever. That was a mistake I made. Now, and again, I talked about this earlier, focusing on skills, not wealth. I kept focusing on how can I be better negotiator? How can I be better at finding deals? How can I be better at using creative financing? Then how can I be better at apartment buildings? How can I be better at underwriting? Those are all skills. But I didn't focus on how do I focus on just creating wealth? Because had I been focusing on creating wealth, I'd have been stacking assets. I'd have been like, dude, I don't care. I don't need to know this. All I know is that's the deal. That's a property that we want. I'm going to find the people that need to do those things, and we're going to make that happen. I would have been focusing on building wealth, not building my skill sets. That is a big failure that I had. It's not enough to just be talented. So next, I didn't understand organization structure. I didn't even know what an org board was or an org chart was. I had no idea. All I knew was like there was the guy that was at the top, and then all these people that worked for him. I didn't understand that there was an actual structure. There was a CEO and there's a founder. There's a VP of let's say asset and deal management. There's a capital markets person or the debt person on the team to be able to underwrite the deals. There was an analyst. There was also an asset manager. There's acquisitions manager. There's a portfolio manager. There's a asset management, and then there's so many other people that go along with there, much less your treasury department, your finance people, the people who are investor relations, your investor relations manager, as well as your investor relations associates, and me. All of those things go. I didn't understand any of that stuff and how they all really work together, which is why I said I didn't treat it like a business. Now I see that way. So that was a big mistake that I made, not focusing on those things. Let's see what else. I didn't have a CEO's mindset. I had a hustler's mindset. I still have a hustle mindset because there's a work ethic involved with being able to succeed and play your game and set these big targets and with the goal to succeed at them. But what I failed to understand was just all the things I said before. I didn't know margins. I didn't know financial structures. I didn't know financial planning, income planning for the business, not the real estate. For example, Bell Capital is its own business that I'm putting around the real estate itself. So there still needs to be a structure of who's where, what are the departments, what are the divisions, who's in charge of what. Like, so that was what I didn't really get, which meant I wasn't a CEO. I was kind of a hustler at best. It wasn't even a boss. I was just really running around doing deals, telling people what to do with no real framework around that. And that's changed now. Now I understand that. And next, no team building. And when I say team building, I know I had property managers, contractors, people who are going to be doing stuff for us, leasing agents, and also the people that are on my team. But when I say team build up, there was no team building, no lifting up my team. It was all the Victor Bell Show. Right now, I want to create winners. So for you people out there that are listening and you start to grasp what I'm talking about as a mistake, it's one thing for you. Yes. People invest with people. So yes, Bell Capital, I'm the face of the company, but technically they're investing in real estate with us, right? The other piece of that though is I want you to feel like, look, if you call and you talk to me, same way you talk to Brashana, it's like talking to me. If you talk to Corian, it's like talking to me. If you talk to Jamie, it's like talking to me. But they're their own people. They have their own strengths. They're on my team as my people that are helping us build something big. So I need to lift them up. I don't want to be the only star on my team. Just the same way it was when Sharon deals with people for us. Sharon is a star on her own. I seek to her for guidance and counsel for things the same way I talk to my people on my team. So building my team up was something that I didn't do. So, and that's not my last group's fault, man. That was my fault. I didn't understand those things. I was just like, yeah, keep it small, keep it tight, Vic. Grow this, nobody else, right? Like I had these selfish desires, but that's not how you build anything long-standing. Or I was thinking big, but I wasn't willing to share the pie. And I'm now in this place in my life where I'm like, look, I want to build something big. I want to hit billionaire status. I want to do it through real estate. That's the most sophisticated investment or asset that I can do. That's for a simple guy like me that I can understand, that I can help my people understand, my investors understand it, but we can get in that game. And there's enough billionaires that we can model, which is what I do. I'm modeling the most successful people on the planet in this game. But these are the mistakes that I made. I hope those help you. Go back over them, listen to them. You guys may not be making these mistakes. Maybe you guys have all this stuff figured out. I didn't. I didn't have anybody in front of me, or I didn't have somebody transparent enough to say, hey, Vic, here's the things that we're doing. Here's the mistakes that I made that I want you to avoid on your track or in your cycle of life that you are right now for what you're doing. So I hope this helps you. These are my mistakes. I didn't number them or anything like that, but listen to this. Take notes, write these things down, and make a decision. One, you can do this yourself. You can go off, you can find your own deals, buy your own deals, manage your own deals. You get 100% of the upside and you also get 100% of the work, which is what I tell people. Yep, all of it. 100% of those problems are yours too. Or you can turn around and you can find out about what it's like to invest with us. You can go to bell-capital.com. You can go to, there's only two things you can do on that page. You can schedule a call, book a call with me and Brashana. We can answer your questions if you have some personal things that you want to go over, or you could get started, meaning like you go in, you register on our investor portal, you get the opportunity to do your due diligence, check out the paperwork. You can see all of that information there, and then you can schedule a call and we can help walk you through the paperwork. I know you know one's going to pop and invest 100, 200, 300, $1 million without talking to a real person. I don't believe that. I wanted to build something. I love talking to you guys about that, but that's what I want you to do. If you want to do it yourself, man, I'm here for you. We got courses, we got trainings on this that can help walk you through what I did so you can go buy your own deals. Or if you want to invest with us, which is what I suggest most people do, just being honest, work with somebody who already has traction, already knows what they're doing, and then you can focus on your business, creating more money, focus on your own income while we help build your wealth on the other side. We can put your money to work and help you multiply money. So that's what I have for you. I hope this helps you, but these were my mistakes. Don't make the same mistakes. Trust me, I'm not making them again, man. I've changed 100% because in order for you to change, you got to change. First thing you need to change is know what you don't know. Second thing is you need to point out all your mistakes and commit 100% to not continue to make them. Make different mistakes. Don't make the same ones. That's my goal. All right. So I hope that helps. Looking forward to connecting with you guys. Let me know if you need anything. Like this video, share this video, comment on this video. Give it a thumbs down if you hate it. Don't be a hater and a hider at the same time. Subscribe too. We're looking to get more subscribers, and I want to help you. If there's something that you want me to make a video on, you got questions that you want answered, put it in the comments. Let me address it. I'll talk to you guys about it. I appreciate you. Have a great day today. Let's go.